Oh boy, hi. Welcome to the Naughty Knitwit. No, oh my gosh. Knitwit and the Sticks is what I call myself now. Caught me, didn't you? See, it's been a long time since I've sat here with my phone recording me, and it's gonna show. But I've missed you guys. I hope everyone had a great Christmas and off to a good start in this January of 2024. It's amazing that we're here again. I just had a video doctor's appointment, and the issue is a leg pain issue, but I was referring back to my visit of Renata over in Maryland. When we went to DC and did all that walking, I was in the bad shoes, and I was like, yeah, I mean, it was just in May. I know that this pain wasn't present before May, and I got to thinking, May is no longer just a few months ago. It's gonna be May again before we know it. So my mind is still kind of like, you know, someone just pulled up here. We're not supposed to have people here. And you can tell I've become such a secluded person that when someone pulls up my driveway, I'm like, you're not supposed to be here unless you're bringing me a package. You got no business being here. Anyway, I'm a little out of sorts, I guess. And like everything around me is a disaster. I wanted to be more organized this time so I could just like pull things out and be like, here's this. This is what I want to say about this. And I have information that might be helpful to you about this, and you know, like some podcasters, but I knew I was never going to get to that point, and then this was just never going to happen. I'd never talk to you guys again if I waited for that. So here I am, you know, as I've always been, just kind of a train wreck. You know, my train wreck isn't as much of a train wreck as some of them that are out there, and you know, so I'm going to take a little comfort in that, and then I'll just jump right into it. Hasn't it been crazy, this weather, you guys? I'm sure wherever you're at, you've had crazy weather, because I don't think there's anywhere that hasn't. I could not leave my house for over a week. Other people, now up here, a lot of people just didn't. We did not see a lot of cars going by. The ones that we did, we thought, hey, you're going to end up in the ditch, because we have this one curve in the road up here that every time we get freezing weather, someone ends up in that ditch, because it's inevitable. But our driveway is kind of steep, and so even once some of the roads were cleared and stuff, our driveway, barring an emergency, was not usable. Had there been an emergency, you know, well, then you do things a little bit differently, but we aren't the type to, we're just like, if we can avoid a crash, we're going to avoid the crash. We are not important people. We have nowhere important to be. And so there'd be no reason to even attempt that. But I went to the store, I don't know if it was yesterday or the day before, but it was like, I hate going to the grocery store. I don't mind going and shopping for fun stuff, although I don't really get to go shop for fun stuff much anymore, because we don't really have that many neat places in this area to go to. But so I do most of my shopping. I guess I'm just an online shopper, but because you guys, some of you have known me for a while, even when I lived where there were lots of stores, and I still online shop. But anyway, I was actually totally happy to even just go to the grocery store, and so that tells you something. But anyway, so I'll start showing you some stuff. This first thing I'm going to show you, I feel like I should be saying more about how nice it is to see you guys, but just, you know, I'm happy to see you. I hope you're here. Whatever, let's just go to this, because this is so cute. This bag made from an old quilt, Carrie, the Creative Obsession, made me for Christmas. I love it. This is my favorite side, which is kind of funny, because when I was showing it to Michael, he's like, oh, I really like that side. I'm like, that's funny, because this is my favorite side. So I think just because of the yellow and the blue and the pink and the lighter blue, it's so perfect. I love it, but it's so cute. She made a few of them from, a repurposed old quilt. So she said it's not antique, but it's vintage, which I'm not sure which I am. I'm not sure I'm antique, but I'm pretty sure I'm vintage. But anyway, so I haven't done as much knitting. I did, I've been working on these socks. This is the Cookie Swap sock, and I've mentioned it before, and I can put a link in. It's probably linked in my last video because I think I'd done like two rows of the toe or something. I'm not loving this pattern, honestly, as much as I thought it would, because when I looked at the picture, it was like, I love socks that have a lot of different patternings, you know, in the sections. And this one looked like that's what it was. But the truth is there's three different patterns, and they just repeat as they go. So it's really not as exciting as I thought it would be. I think maybe Cookie Swap had me. Maybe that I was just disillusioned, like, Cookie Swap? Yeah, that sounds great. But anyway, I think they're cute, and they're, you know, but I'm not in love with them. So I just kind of want to finish them. I did them toe up. I think the pattern was cuffed. Yeah, the pattern was cuffed down, but I'm just doing it backwards. Did my own toe because I like the rounded toe. And I decided on this one. So the last socks I did, I told you guys I loved the heel flap and gusset. And I only say it that way because I have to remind myself what's it actually called. Because, you know, I've done the fish lips kiss. But the heel flap and gusset from my last socks was a cuff down. And I could not, I did find a toe up heel flap and gusset. I don't know why that's so hard for me, but it had this very complicated way of figuring out how far you go from the toe before you start it. And I just didn't feel like doing all that. I was like, just tell me how many inches. I don't want to measure stuff. I don't want to measure my gauge or how many rows. And I know if I was a better knitter, I'd be like, well, of course you have to do that. But I'm lazy in that. I just want to know, tell me how many inches. Don't even tell me centimeters. I want to know inches, but I'll do the conversion if I have to with the centimeters. Only because most tape measures have it on both sides. So I'm not really converting anything, but I'm flipping the tape measure over. I can do that. I can flip over a tape measure if I have to. But anyway, so I wanted to do the heel flap and gusset for my toe up socks, but it just didn't pan out. I still want to know a pattern. And I think someone had told, I thought it was Anna told me that her pattern, God's Promise, was written toe up with the heel flap and gusset, but I think I looked and it wasn't. So I'm sure this is my misunderstanding, because it always is. But anyway, I ended up doing the OMG heel again, because I used to do the OMG, which stands for, I don't know what the O is for, actually. I can't remember, but it's a mock gusset heel. And it's by Megan Williams. And I used to love it. And so I thought, you know, I hadn't done that in a while because I'd gotten into doing the Fish Lips Kiss heel. So I thought, let's revisit the mock gusset and see what I think of that. And so I did it last night. And that's what you're seeing right here in the green. It's a lot smaller than a heel flap gusset. It's probably even smaller looking than the Fish Lips Kiss heel. I'm already remembering that I don't like the gap that it leaves when you go back to knitting in the round. And I did the thing where you pick up the stitches and there's still gonna be a gap that I'm gonna, you know, I can fix it with all of my multiple strands of yarn here. Do you hear Grace? Honey, I'm sorry your life sucks right now. So Grace is in heat. And when we first got her we've had her in June. I think June will be 2 years. We did not get her fixed because Michael just didn't want to do what they said you have to do, is what it comes down to. Because they always say, get your dogs fixed right away. And he's like, why? You know, like, I know why. Please don't send me a ton of messages about stray dogs and all the dogs in the shelters. I know, it's sad. I mean, I could cry many tears over how many dogs are, you know, destroyed because of that. So put all that aside and don't try to put me on a guilt trip. He was thinking, you know, maybe we would want a puppy from Grace because she's so cute, and we've always just gotten our dogs fixed right away. Never considered not getting them fixed. And, you know, we're thinking, I mean, I wasn't thinking this because I don't want to think about this, but he's like, you know, Oso's going to need to be replaced at some point, and wouldn't it be better to replace him with another puppy from Grace versus whatever. We did not realize, and I wanted to get her fixed right from the start. I wasn't in the boat of maybe let's have puppies. That was not something I wanted to even go down that road. If Grace had puppies, I wouldn't want to get rid of any of them. And I don't need any more dogs than I already have. I have 2. That's enough. And we've had 3. We actually had 4 for a while if you were with us back then. 2 Chihuahuas is perfect. It's enough. But anyway, in his defense, I understand where he was coming from. Like, you know, the whole whatever. Whatever. And it was never like, oh, let's be a puppy mill. You know, we weren't like, let's retire off the funds from selling puppies. That's not us. But all that to say, we had never experienced a dog in heat before. And we had no idea the crying and whining and how upset she is. Like, she's so anxious. Her eyes are dilated. She's whining all the time. She has this bone that she carries around that she thinks is her baby, I think. And it's really sad and heartbreaking and super annoying at the same time. And so you're battling, I love my dog, but she's annoying the crap out of me with her whining and stuff because it's constant. Then you get into the part where you've got all the little messes that get made. And I've bought the diapers, and now I've got the little plastic panty things that go over the diaper to try to keep it on. And I don't even know if it's going to work. I've thrown out countless things because of this mess. And she's not, this time around, she's not to that point yet. Now she's just in the whiny stage. But anyway, called today. She's going in on February 8th to get fixed, and I'm so happy. Relieved. I'm just relieved. I'm not going to be happy taking her in because, you know, you're always worried about your baby when you take them to the doctor for whatever, whether it's your human baby or your dog or your cat, whatever. But anyway, I am relieved that we're just gonna, because we don't want her dealing with this all of her life. And I told Michael, I was like, if you're serious about her having puppies, get on, you know, look up Chihuahua studs, because I don't know how you even go about that. And, you know, is that something we want to deal with? No. I can answer you that. No, that is not something I want to deal with, which I knew a long time ago. But anyway, all that to say, she might be coming back in whining, and you'll hear her. And so that's that. So back to the sock. Here's the other one. I just want to finish these. The back is really cute because I love stripes. I want to get done with these socks and then pull out some of my self-striping right there. Can you see in there? There's lots of self-striping. You can't really see it too well, but you know, and just like, I don't know. I love scrappy socks. I do, but I like other people's scrappy socks better, I think. I'm not having fun with these socks, so I just want to finish them. I'm just gonna make them shorties because I'm kind of over it. So there you go. But I've been having a lot of fun with, it started with my Advent from Charming You that Maureen had sent me. And I just, you know, I think I talked about it the last time I recorded. I was gonna do this one blanket, and I'd bought the pattern, but the reality was that without, as far as crochet goes, if I don't have a video tutorial, I can't do it. I just don't understand all those written words, all those abbreviations. I can muddle through the abbreviations, but like the way for the join, I could do the shape, but the motif or whatever you call it. But when it came to joining them, I was just like, I don't get it. So I changed plans and I did this other, it's Sunburst Hexagon. And again, I'll link it. It's, I don't even know if I have my iPad over here so that I can look it up. No, it's over on the desk because my video call with my doctor, I was so stressed out. I was dropping F-bombs, and I know I used to do that on a more regular basis, but I don't cuss as much anymore, just, you know, for personal reasons. And I mean, I really try not to, but I was so frustrated, and it's so sad that when you get really frustrated, your heart is really exposed, because all that stuff that you have that you try on a daily basis to try to keep in check, when things get stressed, when you get stressed out about something, oh my gosh, how quickly your true self shows. And I was disappointed in myself because I was dropping F-bombs and just getting really frustrated because I had this appointment at 10. You know, I've done Zoom. I've done a lot of Zoom. This Kaiser link would not open on my desktop, my iPad, or my phone. And so I start trying to log on for this appointment at 10:45 like they said to. And by 10 o'clock, the doctor's calling me like, where are you? And I was on the other line with tech support, which that was a whole nother joke of a phone call. But anyway, all that to say, my iPad's over there because... And it never did work. I ended up just on an audio call, which I hate. But anyway, it's all done now. And that's how it always goes, right? Things always end up working out. And so I should have just remained calm and not gotten upset through the whole thing. But I'm a fallen human being with a lot of issues. Anyway, my blanket, it's just been so fun. So look at this beauty. I love it. It's really big. I doubled up fingering weight yarn and have just been going and going and going. So what I decided to do was 9 across, 9. This is where I started, and she did say add a stitch marker because it gets confusing. You'll kind of forget which way you're going, and that's absolutely true. But I went 9 across, and then so you're joining as you go, and I opted for the 9. And then you take the color, for me it's the white, and then you crochet all the way across the bottoms of all of these first row. Then you start adding in your second row. And then you go again all the way across. And then you come back around and you go back across. So it's going to be like this along the edges. You know, it's not going to be a straight edge. And I could go in all of these areas and, you know, do like half whatevers. I mean, I'm sure there's tutorials. I'm sure this gal, it's natural something crochet or something. I can't think of exactly what it is, but I'll link it. But I don't know. Anyway, I was gonna say, she even talks about, I think she might even have a tutorial on how to fill these in. I might just leave them though, because it's kind of fun. I don't care. You know, I never am going to have to fold it up to where it's all perfectly. I'm pretty sure this is for me on my chair. I'm pretty sure that's why I'm doing this. The only thing about it is it's really heavy, like doing it DK weight basically. And then these, of course, I've been showing you the wrong side, which I don't know if you've even noticed a difference, but they are a little prettier on the right side. These aren't as airy. Of course, I haven't washed it yet. After I wash it, it's going to open up some, because the crochet blanket that I have on my chair right now is fingering weight, not doubled. And so it's a lot, and it just seems a lot more open, so I don't get as hot. But this one I've noticed, I mean, it is really warm because it's DK, and it seems like these motifs are, you know, tighter. But they're not going to be. Once I wash it, they're going to let some air in. So I think I'll be okay. But the whole point was, I think this is going to be for me on my chair. So I don't care if the sides aren't. I think it's kind of cool. I don't know if I'm just telling myself that because I'm not going to want to go back in and deal with all these little half spaces, because that seems like it would be a pain. So, but I don't care. Whatever. I think it's great. I love this blanket. It's so fun. I have not tired yet of doing it. I've still had fun. The only thing is I've been doing just sparkle because my Advent was sparkle, and I didn't just do them in, like, I opened my Advents in order, but I didn't attach them to the blanket in the order that they came because I didn't always want them next to each other. But I had plenty of other yarns I could use. I had Advent ones from last year left over that I hadn't used yet, and then I've got tons of minis in sparkle. But when I say tons, I may be exaggerating, because now I'm kind of getting to the point where I'm getting to the end of, I still have probably 20 or 25, which I don't know how big I'm gonna make this. One 20-gram mini, I could probably do 2 of these, but I don't know because I've only done the one, and then I was keeping the leftovers. I was making a bunch of magic balls because I thought, oh, I could use those on my other blanket, that building blocks one that I'm knitting, that Stephen West one. But now I'm thinking, I don't know. I don't know how much bigger I'm going to make this, but I don't want to like cut it short just because I feel like I'm running out of sparkle minis to use. So I could probably repeat some of these colors because who cares? Or I can dig into some of my full skeins and just take, you know, enough out to make a, because what else am I going to do with all that yarn? I've already figured out I'm not going to be knitting sweaters because they bug me. So if I want to open 100-gram skein of yarn to take out like 8 grams, why not? What else am I going to do with it? But I haven't decided yet. But I've got lots of yarn to play with. There's no shortage of that around here. So, but I'm going to open up another giveaway, and it just, oh, I hear Grace out there crying. Poor baby. Use the word mini in a comment if you're someone who would like to have some minis. I'm not going to tell you right now what exactly they're going to be because I have so many either scraps. So if you don't want scraps, don't do it, because this could be, I just want to know some people that I could send some minis to as a, you know, like, I don't know, how much more do I need to say? If you want some minis, make a comment that says mini in it. How's that for you? So there's my big blanket, and that's really all that's all I've worked on is that blanket and those socks. My sweater that I'm doing, maybe when I finish this blanket, I mean, of course, I will pull it out again, that one cardigan that I'm doing, because I would like to finish that. It's in yarn that I think I could wear. I know, honey. I know, you poor baby. Did you guys hear that? It's so sad. Here's a couple other, not a pretty color. And this one. This one is from Dandelion and Dogwood, Amy Loudon over in the UK. And I know when I don't know necessarily visually right away, but I know I am working with her yarn because she has the softest sparkle yarn I've ever felt. Like, not that sparkle yarn is necessarily not soft, but her sparkle yarn base is just different than what most dyers here in the US get. And it's just better. I love it. Better to my taste. I really like the feel of it. It's so lovely. And if she was, I'm really not buying yarn. I know you guys have heard me say that for the past, how long have I been doing this? Like 8-10 years? I don't know. I've been saying I'm not buying yarn for a really long time. And I'm telling you, I'm not buying any more yarn. But if she was in the US, I think I'd probably be hard-pressed to resist buying, if she had some sparkle, any of her yarn, because I love her base. But she does a lot of pastel. She does more pastel colors, which aren't really my thing. I like the deeper, more saturated colors. So, I mean, she does a lot of really pretty colors, but my colors, sorry, I just gave you an earthquake. Anyway, I'm just rambling about that now. So I do have, oh, this is something else. Oh, you know what it was? This was what I was doing last time. I was going to do, yeah, and it's such a cute size. I really do like this size. This was just the puff stitch one that I was going to do my blanket in. And I do really like, and that's really soft too, and that was Charming You. So I don't know what I'm talking about. But I think the reason I had this in my bag was just to compare the difference in size. So the hexagon ones were a bit bigger, but it's okay. That is really cute. I remember thinking that was a cute size. But anyway, I just pulled that out of my bag and was kind of surprised. Like, I thought it was one that I could put in my blanket that I just lost, but I don't know why it's there. I'm just making stuff up. So I do have some prizes. I don't know what's in this little, I found a box. Oh, yeah, I'm gonna do this as a giveaway too. This is a stitch marker bracelet, little pink stitch markers on it, that is very pretty, but I'll never use. And so if this is something you think that you would like to have in your life, use the comment with the word bracelet, and I'll get that sent to someone. And so never know what you're gonna find in your little basket of stuff that you set aside for whenever you might record a podcast. I don't want to talk about this too much, but if you like this color, it's a fingering weight yarn. I'd like to send it to someone. So you comment and say mystery yarn. Say mystery yarn, and I'll know that you like that color and that you would knit with a fingering weight yarn in that color. Okay, bag winners. I have finally some bag winners, and hopefully I hear from you guys so I can finally send these out. These are from Fat Girls Fiber, and the tree bag, Fat Girls Fiber Ink, I think that says. They're super sweet, and this is just a cute bag. That is going to Joni 9258. JOANIE 9258. You win the tree bag. So both of you and the bug winner bag, I would like you to just send me an email at naughtyknitwits@gmail.com. And then the cute little bug bag is going to Miss C's Cottage, and that's MSC' Cottage. So I hope I hear from both of you guys so I can finally, I wasn't in a huge hurry over the holidays to pick a winner for these because the mail, so this is kind of funny. I don't know if I told you guys about this, but someone, yeah, because there were 3 bags from Fat Girls that I had heard from one person that they had won the bag. And so I sent it to her, and she got the envelope that I sent it in, the poly bag, you know, that withstands all the weather and the stuff. She got that, but it had been sliced open and there was nothing in it. They delivered that to her. And so she was able to make a claim with the post office. She was reimbursed the amount that we said for the bag. And that was taking a while. And so I had, and this isn't just, I'm not saying I'm a nice person for doing this. There's more to this story, so bear with me. I contacted Fat Girls Fiber and said, I want to pay for this bag that I know that the gal that had won it and received the empty bag. I said, I'd like to just pay for a bag for her so you could just send it to her so she doesn't have to wait for the post office to, you know, mess around with the claim and everything. And these sweet gals said, we actually offered that to her, but she felt bad, you know, she wanted to just go ahead and pay for it. And I said, well, I have her address, so let's just do it. Anyway, all that to say, they sent her a replacement bag free of charge. So they'd already sent us these bags, and then they went ahead and sent her another one. And so, you know, if you're in the market for a bag, there's a lot of great bag makers out there, and I have a list of bag makers that I love on a personal basis. But I can't recommend Fat Girls Fiber enough because they are just over and above generous. So pat on the back to them for sure. So, oh, and my blanket that I complained about last time, my daughter's boyfriend loved. Christmas was awesome. This was probably, I can't say it's my favorite Christmas ever. I don't know that I could like put those in order, but having Renata and her boyfriend home and then having Rebecca and her boyfriend over, we had so much fun. It was like it really was just the best Christmas ever, getting to play games with them and just be with them. Like, you know, you always hear people say, oh, you know, the holidays is about family and spending time together. I'm gonna cry. Oh, I hate it when I get like this because it's so stupid. I mean, it's not stupid, but getting to spend time. Oh my God, I'm gonna have to just cut this out because it's so dumb. I wish I could control my emotions more now like I could when I was younger. When I was younger, I would never cry about anything. You know, I mean, I would be on calls with dead kids and I wouldn't shed a tear. Actually, I did, but now I talk about my kids and I get all teary. It's just so stupid. Does that just happen when you get older? Is that what's going on here? Anyway, it was great. It was just fabulous. So now I have stamping stuff to show because yeah, I've gotten back into the stamping thing, which is why I'm not buying yarn because I'm buying stamping stuff instead. It's not like I've somehow gotten control of my ridiculous shopping habits. It's just on card stuff now. So, but now I'm going to show you some cards that I've made. So there's that one. And that one. And that one. Okay, then I made this set of cards using, if you're into paper crafts at all, you know that sometimes you buy these paper packs with, like I'm going to show you these ones from this set called Birdhouses, and it's like, you know, it comes with all these really pretty different papers, and they're double-sided, and they just have, I'm telling you guys, I am on such a freaking bird kick. I love, that was part of the packaging of it, but I can use, the other side is pretty, so I can use that on a card. But anyway, I've just gotten really into these different patterned papers or whatever you call them. So I made this set of cards, basically not really stamping. Like I say it's stamping, but I guess maybe I stamped something on some of them, not even in that one, but it's all just from this cardstock. And then I add, you know, little rhinestones or some glitter or something, but I don't know. I'm so into, here I actually did stamp a couple things, but I am here I used a background embossing folder for the musical notes. Here I did stamp happy birthday, so there's this very minimal stamping going on here, but I love these birds. I love birds. I did stamp, so this is a stamped bird and the branch, and that's a die cut, but isn't that so cute? And this one I stamped. So super minimal stamping, but just using some of these fun papers. I just love them. And one of the things that has always been a struggle with these pattern papers is they come, you can buy them in the 6x6 packs, or they come 12x12. And it's always really hard to cut into those papers because you're like, oh, they're so pretty, I don't want to cut them up. Well, I'm just getting over that. I'm just cutting everything up to the point where I cut all my 12x12s down into 6x6, and then I put them in this photo box, and I cut manila folders so that I could have my designer papers, my pattern papers, whatever, much more accessible, because instead of having them in the big 12x12 sheets that are kind of hard to deal with, I now have them in a much easier to deal with scenario. And then the other good thing about it is that, you know, when you, so I have them all in these smaller little manila folders. Once you use some, just like with yarn, you never want to throw away any of your little pieces of the paper. So the little pieces can be in the front, and then, and some of these are just gorgeous. Like if you're just a knitter and you're like, oh, you know, whatever, at least you can enjoy how pretty. There's so many things about card making and card making and knitting or crocheting that you're kind of checking the same boxes for me, because a lot of it was always about the color. I love all the different colors and the pretty prints, and that's what I'm getting with all this card making stuff. Is when I used to do stamping and stuff before, I wasn't that into the different papers, but, or you can even have like, this might be really boring to some of you, I'm really sorry, but I can't help it. All these fun, even something as simple as like these kind of, like they're, oh, I guess that's the same on both sides, but just different. They're just so fun, you know? Like, you can see where this could be just as addictive as yarn. It's just a different, different thing you're doing. But what's another fun one? Well, I have a coffee. Oh, these pink floral ones are really pretty. Just fun. These ones are only single-sided. They're not as good, but I'm sure they were less money. But they're pretty. I mean, there's just so much you can do. I had so much fun with the Christmas ones. But I gotta show you guys. I loved this little, see, sometimes they come in these little packs. They're just so cute. And they have all these little, but anyway, when I made cards before, I never would have used this stuff. I just didn't like it. I thought it was kind of cheesy. And, but now I love it. You just never know what you're gonna get into. So I bought this thing. If you're a stamper, you've probably heard of it. It's called a MISTI. It stands for the most, I think it's like the most ingenious stamping tool invented. And when I got back into stamping, you know, just recently, and I started seeing this talk about this MISTI thing, I thought, now I really like it. And so it's basically a stamp positioning tool, and I'm not going to try to show you how to do it, because if you're into stamping and you haven't heard of this, go watch a tutorial because it's really cool. But it's to enable you to position your stamps and to re-stamp, and I won't get into it, but it was very helpful. I made this little, excuse me, I have to do something, get rid of something on my phone. I made this little card to send to Renata, and where it was really, like, just as an example, it was really helpful to try to get that missing you straight, and I didn't even get it totally straight because I didn't want to keep redoing it, but I got it as I could have done better. But on the stamp, it just wasn't straight. And so the first time I did this, it was like really crooked. And so at least using that tool, it did make it a little straight. I'm not doing it justice. Like, if you're a stamper and you don't know about this thing, you need to go watch some videos about it. If you're not a stamper, then there's no point in me trying to explain it, because you're just like, stop talking about this thing that has nothing to do with anything I want to know anything about. Okay, there was one more thing I wanted to show you guys. Oh, my friend who I did the exchange with, that I got the cute crocheted pig from, and she sent lots of cute little things in my advent that I exchanged with her. But I had to show you guys this super cute. She sent me the best pair of scissors that I've ever used. But the most important thing I wanted to show you guys, all the stuff that she sent me is in here. But she made this bag, and I think it is so cute because, wait for it. See the wool and the little sheep. I know I don't have to be this specific, but look at that. Little sheep butts. Isn't that so cute? I think it's adorable. We got a cat yesterday. I gotta tell you guys this story real quick, and then I'll stop. We wanted a barn cat because, you know, down at the shop there's different little critters, and when I say critters, I mean like mice or maybe even rats that, you know, we've got chicken feed and goat feed and sheep feed, you know, we've got all sorts of stuff. It's just a reality of living out in this kind of environment. And so we'd kind of kicked back and forth getting something. People had said, oh, get a barn cat, you know, but I was like, I want a cat for my house, and I can't have a cat for my house. And so anyway, we found these people down in Scappoose, like 45 minutes from here, that had this feral cat, excuse me, that had started living with them at their house. And it just wasn't really getting along too good with their cat and their dog. And so we talked back and forth, and we found out, okay, this is boy cat. His name is Sue. So boy named Sue. We're big Johnny Cash fans. We're like, that has to be the cat for us. So we were going to go down the other day. They said, okay, 3 o'clock. We're going to go be there at 3 o'clock. So my husband was working at the tractor store that day. She normally works at the tractor store on Monday, but this was Saturday. He'd switched with someone who was getting off at 2. So I went over there to get him so that we could get down there by 3. This is a side note, but this tractor store, this Coyote, it's Columbia River, no, Cowlitz, he'd be so disappointed in me. Cowlitz River Rigging is the name of the place, but it's a Coyote dealership. And they got in for this person who ordered it. They wouldn't normally stock this because it's like $80,000 before you add any implements to it. This huge tractor, like the tires are taller than me, just the tires on this thing. So when I went to pick him up, I never thought that this would be something that I'd think was neat, but I got to sit in this big, huge tractor. And let me tell you, like, you take these big, huge steps, like step ladder to get up into this thing, and you're sitting up in the cab of this thing. It's an enclosed cab. And you feel like you could rule the world from this cab. It's like, it's just so, excuse me, it's really like fancy, I guess for a tractor. I don't know. It was pretty cool. But anyway, that was a total weird side note. But so we're headed down. I don't actually know why I met him there, but we ended up taking and dropping his car at his truck at another location, just so we didn't have to double back. But we're gonna head down there. We get in the parking lot and he hears from them and they say, well, could you guys come closer to 4 because he's not back yet? You know, because this is an mostly outdoor cat that just comes to their house at night to eat. So they're like, he's not back yet. So like it hadn't occurred to them or us that just because we were going to be there at 3 didn't mean the cat would show up at 3. So we're like, okay, well, I'll just go the next day. And so, you know, like the plan was, don't let him out. Keep him in the house overnight, whatever. And then I will come down first thing yesterday, whatever that was, Sunday. I was going to go down there first thing Sunday to pick up this cat. So I get up, get ready, leave here by 9, get down to their place. It's pouring rain. The gal's like waving at me from the door, you know, yeah, I'm at the right house. I get out, go up there, get in their house. She's like, oh, where is he? I'm like, I don't know. I mean, so they're looking all over for this cat that had been there like 5 minutes prior to my arrival, from driving 45 minutes to get there. They can't find the cat. And they're like, well, this is weird. I'm like, yeah, this is weird. So they like turn over their couch because their couch has a hole in the bottom and sometimes the cat would climb up inside it. And they're like, we don't see him up in there and we're really embarrassed and sorry, but we don't know where the cat went. The cat that had been there, like when I pulled up in my car, the cat was in there. So it's like, okay, I mean, I guess I'll go home now. So I come back home and anyway, the gal gets a hold of us later in the afternoon. Oh, he showed up. So she brought him out here. And so Sue, the boy cat, we locked him in the shop with, you know, a bed and food and water and all that kind of stuff. And then Michael set up a couple cameras so we could see what happens. He would not come out of the carrier. He was pretty freaked out. But anyway, so we watched him, you know, finally come out and kind of start wandering around, get up on my car, all the stuff that cats do. And Michael went down this morning and opened up the door and he said that he'd eaten some of the food and he did use the cat box and he ate some of the treats that I put out and it looked like he'd played with one of the toys that I left him. So hopefully, you know, Michael left the shop door open, which he typically does because we're here all the time and he's in and out of the shop and stuff. So hopefully this cat leaves, you know, and comes back. We're hoping that he doesn't just leave. We're up off the road enough, you know, that, I hear Grace again. Anyway, we're hoping for the best. We're hoping we see him again and that this ends up working out. Because I would love to have a cat. And so if this cat, who's a feral cat, but typically will come and go, you know, we're happy to feed him and provide him a warm place to sleep at night. And, you know, I'd love to get to the point where I could go down and play with him some. That might be unrealistic, but maybe it'll happen. So I'll let you know what happens with that. Oh, Grace is back with her bone. Sorry, sweetie. All right, well, I'll keep it at that. And I'm going to hear from the 2 bag winners and get those out. And then I'm going to hear from some people that would like some scraps / minis. And then that one weird yarn and, I mean, not weird, random yarn. Maybe that would be the better term. But anyway, thanks for checking in and yeah, we'll talk to you later. Bye. Hi, I'm back for part 2, a very crooked part 2 from yesterday's video. Is that better? Okay, we're gonna try this again. I had more to say. I recorded yesterday and then I put it together on a video. I mean, it already was a video, I guess. But I have more to say. Actually, I used to go through and turn off all my notifications before I'd record. And then it was like, why do I go and do that? And now I see why I do that, because yesterday when I recorded and today, these messages come down and they're very distracting to me. And you know, it doesn't take much to get really distracted. But anyway, I wanted to video a little bit more because when I watched what I recorded yesterday, I realized a couple of things. One was, see my mama bear shirt? That's one of my stories. So this had nothing to do with yesterday, but Michael got me this for Christmas, and we don't exchange Christmas gifts with each other anymore because it's excuse me, it's just silly to do for us. But anyway, he and Renata had been out shopping and he saw this shirt and he told her, oh, grab that, I'm gonna get that for your mom. So he did, and then a couple days later, the kids and I, Rebecca and Renata, their boyfriends, and I were gonna go to the coast. So I proudly wear my mama bear shirt, and I was thinking, I love this shirt. It's thin, so I'm not gonna be too hot. It's comfortable. It's like super soft. There's no tag in the back. It's not form-fitting, and you know, I don't want anything fitting my form right now. And so I've got it on, and Renata says, you know, it looks great. You know, it's just, if it were me, I would want someone to tell me. And I'm thinking, what? You know, what? She says, it was actually marketed as pajamas. Like, well, okay then. So my wardrobe struggles have been, I have a plan now. I need to just buy pajamas that I can wear out as clothing. I figure it's like, if you put a bra on, it's a shirt. And if you have your bra off, it's pajamas. So it's really a win-win. I'm good with that. I'm okay. So I dressed up for you guys today in my pajamas, but I did put a bra on, so it's a shirt. I'm wearing my mama bear pajama shirt with a bra, so I could go anywhere. I could go to the store in this. I went to the coast in it. But anyway, when I was looking at my video that I did yesterday, you'll have seen it up to this point. I may go in and chop it up a little bit. And the reason is I was talking about this stamping tool called MISTI. Stands for whatever, it's an acronym for whatever. But in my ranting yesterday, I was just going off on how I don't like the name of it. I just didn't like the name of it. And after I watched it, I thought, you know, if someone was named Misty and they're watching this, they're gonna think, wow, you're really mean. Like, why are you dogging my name so much? It really, the name Misty is fine. It's just, I used to work with a Misty that just has some bad memories to it. And then I just thought it was a silly name for a stamping tool, but it's fine. I mean, it's their product. They've probably made a lot of money off it, so good for them. So anyway, I want to tell you that. And I wanted to give a couple updates. We still have Sue the barn cat. We don't know if he ever left the barn and came back. We were thinking that he left the barn. Michael we never saw him come back, so we put some food out for the raccoons, the cat, and we just thought, whatever. Well, 3 o'clock this morning, Michael wakes me up. Hey, Sue's down in the shop. I'm like, how do you know this? Why is it 3 a.m. and you're telling me that the cat's in the shop? But like I told you, he has cameras on it. And I think he probably woke up because the dogs were waking him up. And so he checked the cameras, and then he thought that I would want to know at 3 or 3:30 this morning that there was a cat, that Sue the cat was back in the shop. So yay. And then also at the end of the video, you're going to see some elk footage, and I thought I should probably explain that. We have a herd of elk that come pretty much every year. We get to see them, and so there's just some cool footage of that. I wanted to update you on the OMG heel that I also kind of dogged this sock pattern, the cookie swap sock pattern. I was kind of talking about how I didn't like it and it was boring or whatever I said. When I watched it, I thought, man, you just kind of are dogging everything. Poor Misty and poor sock. It's a cute pattern. It really is. It's fine. I mean, look at it. It's cute, right? And then the OMG heel, I did a little bit more, And now I'm just going to do a couple rounds of ribbing in the gold. And I put it on last night and it fit pretty good. So I'm still out as the saga continues. This might be okay. We'll see. The hole, I only get it on one side, and there's probably people that do this and don't have that problem. I just do something weird or whatever, and I get that little gap. So I'll just fill it in. It's fine. I don't know what I do. I know there's videos I could watch. I could further my education and figure out how not to do that, but I'll probably just stitch it up. And then I wanted to tell you guys about this recipe because it's kind of funny. So the cookbook is 2 peas in their pods. This recipe from it is available on their website, and I'll link it. It's called Black Bean Quinoa Enchilada Bake. And one of the things that it takes is some jalapeno peppers, which I did. And I sliced them up and I put them in the frying pan, like I said too, with some onions. And I was cooking them. And all of a sudden I get this terrible burning in my lungs. And so I'm like hacking. And then a little while later, that worked. She's going away. Wow. My shushing finally worked on someone. Then Michael is out in the other room and he starts hacking. Well, I made homemade pepper spray somehow in my frying pan. So these are good skills to have if you ever, like if you have some company over and you're like, I have dropped the hint to get them to leave and they won't go. Fry up some jalapenos in your frying pan. And I don't know like how or why, but I made pepper spray permeated into the air and we were hacking. I don't know, like if I had bought fresh jalapenos, that probably wouldn't have happened, but I just used them from a jar. And have you ever had that happen? It was pretty wild. It was kind of, it wasn't really funny, but like I said, it could be a good tool to have in your little tool belt of cooking hacks. But and then one more update. I tried last night with some of my leftovers to get one more of the sunburst hexagons and it's just short. I just can't quite get it. So I think I'm gonna add these as a giveaway. So shh. And here comes Michael, so now they're gonna all bark. So anyway, this is my magic balls or whatever they are, my scrappy magic balls. I don't think they're magic balls, but whatever. I think I'm just gonna add those as giveaways too. So okay, I'm gonna go before the dogs really go crazy, and hopefully I'll get this all uploaded today. And not that you'll be any the wiser, but all right, take care. You see it coming over, yeah, that's cool.
Well, it's another beautiful morning of the cook visiting the field. I've been here about 3 or 4 days. Probably ought to go inspect some fences later on.